What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the vault. My name is Money, and I am thrilled to be finally making this video because it's been so long since I've been able to say I have new Parks and Rec pops. So it has been about, I don't know, when was the first wave produced? Let's see. 2017. So it has been 4 years since the original wave of Parks and Rec pops came out. There was some sort of issue with Funko and NBC not being able to agree on the figures they were making. There was a Duke Silver and Janet Snakehole chase that were canceled, and then Tom ended up becoming part of Emerald City Comic Con's lineup a year and a half later. But here we are in 2021, and we finally have a brand new wave of Parks and Rec pops, and I'm going to show them all off for you guys. I'm going to talk about it, give my thoughts and opinions on all of them. And if you like what you watch here on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on more Parks and Rec content from me. First pop from this brand new wave of Parks and Rec comments is Leslie the Riveter. Now, this is from the Halloween episode where I believe the big plot that's going on is that Chris and Ann are fighting, and Leslie tries to cheer Ann up by saying, oh, let's scare Jerry when he's in the bathroom. Jerry comes out of the bathroom, they scare him, and Jerry has what Tom calls a fart attack because he goes to the hospital because he has a heart attack. And Leslie's dressed up as Leslie the Riveter the whole time. Now, it makes a lot of sense as to why they would do Leslie the Riveter, because Rosie the Riveter is such an inspirational piece of feminism, and then Leslie Knope is all about women's rights, so it makes so much sense that they would want to do Leslie as Rosie the Riveter as a pop, because number one, it would be super popular, and number two, there has to be at least one Leslie variant in this wave, right? The next pop we have is Andy Dwyer as Princess Rainbow Sparkle, and now this is from the episode where Ron meets Diane, and they go to fix her pothole, and Chris Traeger asks, is that a euphemism? And the girls end up dressing Andy and Ron up as princesses, and they call Andy Princess Rainbow Sparkle. Kind of weird that they would do Andy but not do Ron, because it was kind of funny seeing Ron and all the makeup and everything. Andy ends up loving it, so maybe that's why they decided to do Andy and no Ron. And as we'll talk about later on in this video, there's a lot of Ron variants in this wave. So it kind of would have just fit the mold for them to do yet another Ron variant, but this is a pretty cool pop. The detail on Andy is nice. I mean, they have his hair up with the crown. He's got a little bit of makeup on. He's got a sticker on his forehead because he has one of those when he's all dressed up. I personally would have never asked for this to be made, but now that I have it, I think it is pretty cool. Now, next up, we have a pop that I think did not come out. How do I want to put it? It didn't come out as well as I think it could have. And that's Janet's Snakehole. Now, this is April Ludgate as Janet Snakehole. It's like her alternate personality. You have Burt Macklin, you have Janet Snakehole. And it was always weird to me that they did Burt, but they didn't do Janet. But my one complaint about this pop is that the little guard that comes over her eyes, like, they did a sheet of plastic to give it like how do I describe it? Maybe I'll just pop a picture up so you guys can see it, and then compare that to the pop here. The plastic over the eyes just doesn't do it for me. And I guess I understand they couldn't do any type of veil without having it be kind of flimsy and break apart. But I don't know. The plastic over the eyes just isn't really doing it. Now, in comparison, here is a custom Janet Snakehole that I did last summer before I knew we would be getting a brand new wave of Parks and Rec pops. And as you can see, I just opted out of doing the veil altogether because I couldn't figure out a great way to do it. And I think, honestly, my Janet Snakehole came out a little bit better than theirs did, just because it doesn't have that obstructing plastic over her eyes. Now it's time to give it up for my man, Mr. Duke Silver. And this is one that I think came out great. I think this might be my favorite pop from this common set because it's just so good. It looks just like Duke Silver, the saxophone, and they gave him the microphone, which I think is a really nice touch. They didn't have to give him the microphone, just the saxophone would have done well, but here it is, microphone and all. It's a great looking pop. I think it is probably my favorite pop from this set, and if we compare it to my custom that I did last year, but I think that their Duke Silver came out miles better than mine. You know, sometimes he wears the shades, sometimes he doesn't. I opted in to give Ron the shades, and there was no way for me to give Ron Swanson a hat, unfortunately, so we went with the hatless version of Duke Silver. But I think altogether, their version looks much better than mine. I'm still very happy with the way my custom came out. I mean, I like how I have one hat and no shades, and then I have one no hat with shades. So that's kind of cool, but I think their Duke Silver is probably the best looking pop of this wave. And now we get to the last comment of this set, and that is Hunter Ron. And of course, have to have a chase, right? So here we have Hunter Ron and then the Hunter Ron Chase with the bandage over his head. Now this is of course from an episode in season 2 where Tom accidentally shoots Ron in the head, and they go on a big chase to find out who did it. Was it Leslie? Was it Donna? Was it Anne? And it's just so funny to see this scene because seasons 1 and 2 of Parks and Rec are arguably considered the worst part of Parks and Rec. So it's just weird to me to see Funko go back to those seasons and do this moment as a figure. Now, I owe a huge shout out to my friends Justin and Amanda, who got up early for me and they drove all the way to Hot Topic because they got this in stock, and I wouldn't have been able to have gotten this without them. So Justin and Amanda, thank you guys so much for going out of your way and taking time out of your day to go grab this for me. Parks and Rec is my favorite show, and when you see a chase in a set that you want to have 100% of, you're just like, okay, who am I going to have to pay double for? What, Mercari, eBay, I'm going to have to keep watching these sites. So to have some friends go out and grab this for me because they know how much I wanted it, I just appreciate it so much. And coupling it with the comment, I think that the chase is obviously better. And I like how there is a big difference in the mold. The body's the exact same. There's no difference in the body. But the head sculpt is completely different, which is great. They could have easily just have tossed a bandage underneath the hat or something, and you couldn't even tell the difference. But I mean, doing a whole different head here for Ron, I think is fantastic. And that's what makes this chase, honestly, one of my favorite items from this set so far. I also just very briefly wanted to show you guys another Parks and Rec item that I added to my collection recently, and that is Johnny Karate. If you look at it closely, maybe it looks a little different to you. Maybe it looks a little funky. I'll bring it closer to the camera for you. Maybe it doesn't look 100% right. That's probably what you're thinking, right? That's because this is a custom Johnny Karate, and I owe a huge shout out to Noah over at Cross-Eyed Collector for doing this entire box for me. Noah over at Cross-Eyed Collector, who from scratch designed this box for me. He found a picture of Johnny Karate and played with the saturation to get it right. He designed the whole box, the back. The bottom is a scan of the bottom of an actual Johnny Karate box, which is nuts to me. And then I went online and I made some custom stickers, and I was able to get this thing looking almost exactly like the original thing here. Now, the way that I did this was I got an out-of-box Andy Dwyer pop. I got an out-of-box something, I can't remember his name, from the Karate Kid, who, by the way, is the exact same mold as Johnny Karate, just has a no Johnny Karate logo on the shirt. Put them together, put it in the box Noah made, and here we are. Now, while my Andy Dwyer Mouse Rat shirt is 100% legitimate, I did a huge trade a couple of years ago to get this thing. This thing has gone up in price. It's nearly doubled in price so far, so I'm glad that I was able to get it while I did. But there was no way that I was spending an upward of $3,000 on one Funko Pop. So I figured, you know what, let me spend around 50, 60 bucks, put together a really convincing custom, and have that on the shelf, because I know I'm never going to own the legitimate Johnny Karate, so that gets the job done. But overall, I think this brand new wave of Parks and Rec Pops is great. Janet Snakehole is probably my least favorite, which is unfortunate. And Leslie the Riveter, Duke Silver, two of my favorites from this set. And I'm also excited for all of the exclusives because I have them all pre-ordered so far, except for the Funko Shop Ron that hasn't gone live yet. I need to get my hands on that. There's been rumors saying that in July we were going to see that Ron Swanson, the sick Ron Swanson, go live, and July's almost up, so hopefully Funko decides to drop it soon. I have the Target 2-pack pre-ordered. I have the Go calendars Andy with the crutches pre-ordered, and then I also have the Chase bundle of Ben Wyatt, where it gives you 1 Chase and 5 commons. So if anybody is looking to buy a common Ben Wyatt for retail, I will have 4 extras. Feel free to hit me up in the comments or over on Instagram if you want to claim one of those 4 commons. But overall, I mean, this new wave of Parks and Rec Pops is fantastic. And even more so, I'm excited that we're going to be getting Filibuster Leslie as a part of FunCon, which is the only thing that I need from FunCon, but we'll save that for another video. I want to hear from you all down below in the comments. What do you think of this brand new set of Parks and Rec Pops? What are you excited for? And which Parks and Rec characters do you hope they make figures of in the future? Do you hope they do an Ann Perkins? Or how about a Chris Traeger? Make sure to leave a comment down below and like this video if you liked this Parks and Rec haul and my Johnny Karate custom. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to collect what you love, even when what you love has literally taken 4 years to come out. And as always, I will see you all soon.